Welcome guys back to another video in the channel. Today we will be doing a preview for the Aston Villa versus Wolverhampton Wanderers fixture in the Premier League. This is on the Saturday 27th of June. I'm doing a separate video for this one, as you can see, and this could be quite an interesting game because Aston Villa are fighting relegation, but Wolves, they're ticking along, they're getting results, they're doing all the right things. And looking at Wolverhampton Wanderers' result in the last game, they did have a 1-0 win against Bournemouth, which was quite good for them, and Raul Jimenez did score in that game, but they did have a lot of yellow cards in that one, Roman Saiz and Ruben Neves. Bournemouth did cause them a little bit of a fight, but looking at Wolves in the table, they are sitting in 6th position, and they are level on points with Manchester United, who are in 5th. So winning this game will be crucial for them, and hopefully Wolves can win so they can push forward and try and push for a Champions League position. That will be the most key thing. For Aston Villa, they are in a relegation scrap. They are level on points with West Ham and AFC Bournemouth on 27 points, and 1 point off Watford, who are in 16th, and they are also 6 points off Brighton. I don't think they'll catch Brighton. Brighton are doing quite well in the restart. So Aston Villa, they're in a lot of problems, and this has to be a must-win game. They have to look at this game and say, we have to beat Wolves. But looking at Aston Villa's last result, they had a draw against Newcastle. Newcastle have been in good form. They did smash Sheffield United, but you should expect Aston Villa to put up more of a fight. Dwight Gale did take Newcastle in front in that game with Ahmed El Mohammadi equalising for Aston Villa. So you hope that Aston Villa do come back from this game and try and push on and try and beat Wolverhampton Wanderers. Looking at predicted lineups for this game, we're going to start off with Wolves. In goal, I think Rui Patricio will keep his place in the side. Obviously, I don't think he'll come out because obviously he's a goalkeeper, and we're going to stick with a 3-4-3. And the first one we're going to go with is Willy Bolly. He plays every game. He is one of their best defenders, and he has to continue his place in the side. Next to him, I'm going to go Connor Cody. Again, played the game, and I do expect him to keep the place in the side, and hopefully he does that. And next to him, I'm going to go Roman Saiz. They don't really have many other good centre-backs that could fill in and do a good job. Because if they did, it would be like someone like Kilman, most likely. They could put on Dead Donker, he could play there, but I'm going to stick with Roman Saiz for this game because that is the team that did win, and it's more important to keep going with the side you're winning with, and then if you do need to make some changes elsewhere, you can do that. And first of all, on the right-hand side, in that right wing-back position, I'm going to go with Pedro Neto. I'm going to put him in that position. I'm going to go Doherty. I'm going to stick with Doherty, and then I'm going to put Pedro Neto more up forward because I think he plays better there. So I'm going to stick with Doherty. Again, there's no other player who could really fill that position. You could push out for Viangra. He could have a shout in this game, but I don't think so. I don't expect him to. So, the two midfield players, I'm going to go with Moutinho and Neves. I'm going to stick with them two in there. They have to play. These two are like a glue that sticks this team together. They're so good in that midfield, and they have to keep their place in this side. On the left-hand side of that, the wing-back position, I'm going to go with Daniel Podence. He is a very good player, and I think he could do a job on that left-hand side. They have to make some changes somewhere, and I think that this could be a position where they do make some changes, and that's why I'm going to go Podence. Up front as the main striker, I'm going to go Raul Jimenez. Again, he did score the winning goal against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are a sticky side that somehow, they try and sit back, and then maybe you could, and then it becomes a bit hard for you to score against them. But Raul Jimenez finally found a way, and you need those kind of players against teams like Aston Villa because sometimes they can be a bit sticky, and you may not be able to score always against them. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Adama Traore. I'm going to stick with Adama Traore because he is an excellent player. His pace blisters most teams and most defences, and I think he'll do the same against Aston Villa. And I do expect him to score actually against Aston Villa. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Pedro Neto. He did come off for Diogo Jota around 62 minutes. So I do expect Pedro Neto to get another run out on this game because when Wolves got that goal, it was around that sort of 60th minute mark. So I do expect Pedro Neto to get a game. He is quite a good player. He's not a bad player, and he did hold on to a lead and so he must have played a more of a defensive part in that game. So I do expect Pedro Neto to have a game. Looking at Aston Villa's predicted lineup, again, there's not much you can say about it. You know, they didn't have a great side and they've been hit with a lot of injuries. So I'm going to go with Pepe Reina in goal. Nyland, I do expect him to come out of this side. And I think Pepe Reina can be a really good goalkeeper on his day. So that's why I'm going to go with him. On the right back position, I'm going to go with Konza Nagayo. Because there's no other right back I can see that could really do a job there. So that's really how I'm going to be sticking with this game. I can't really do much more than that. On the centre-back position, number 40, Tyrone Mings. He has been linked with a move to Arsenal, but I don't think he's going to let that get to his head. He has one job on his mind, and that is to get Villa up to the Premier League, keep them in the Premier League, and that will be his job. And next to him, I'm going to stick with Howes for this game. Again, he did pick up a yellow card in that game, but again, it's one of those things you have to stick with its side and you have to try build around it, because if you make too many changes, especially in a defence, then it could cause a few problems. So that's why I'm going to go with Howes. And same for the left back position. I'm going to go with Target. And Target. And in the midfield, first midfield player I'm going to go with is Marvelous Nakamba. I think he came on 77 minutes and he made a real push for Aston Villa to score that goal. So I expect him to come on for John McGinn. In that centre mid role, I'm going to go with Douglas Luiz. Again, he did pick up a yellow card, but he's such a good player for that Aston Villa side. I think he's probably one of the most underrated midfield players in the Premier League. And I think if they do go down, I think Arsenal should be trying to look at this player and trying to pick him up, because he's too good for the Championship, I think. If you guys do know, he's in my career mode as well. And I'm going to stick with Douglas Luiz. Number 10, Jack Grealish. There is no questions about this. He's their best player, and their best player has to play every game. So that is the midfield. So we're going to go into the strike line, and on the right hand side we're going to go with Anwar El Ghazi. He did come off for Conor Hurrian in the 70th minute, so I do expect him to start again for Aston Villa. On the left hand side, I'm going to go with Keenan Davies. I think he played really well for Aston Villa to make a real push to score that goal, so I do expect him to play this game. And up front as the main striker, I'm going to go with Samatta. There is really no other. They've got quite a bit of injury problems, so Samatta will probably play this game most likely. So that is my predicted lineup for the Aston Villa versus Wolves game. My prediction for this game is going to be a 1-0 win for Wolves. See you guys in the next one. Subscribe, like and share. See you guys in